Good morning. Today is the 14th of February and it's time for another vague, rambling, unprepared and really not that interesting vlog. There's a reason why we call these very vague vlogs, viewers, and the mount is in the way. It's even actually worse than usual today because I'm using a phone I don't normally use to make these because one of mine is operating as a sat-nav. So here we are on the way back from Summit Garage in Dudley, where I have been filming a walk around of a certain new MG model that will appear on the channel very soon. If you are a channel member from the set to later level or upwards, you'll be seeing this on the day of recording. But if you aren't, because I don't believe in hiding content behind a paywall like many other people on YouTube, it's the same thing, then you'll be seeing this at some point in March, I think, by which time you will have definitely seen the walk around of this new MG model. So today what we're going to be discussing is the old Rover 216 I used to have, and why you should definitely do a data check if you can before buying a car. And secondly, road pricing. Now apparently this has been something that's been on the agenda for an awfully long time. Something like, I don't know, 60 years, something like that. And the idea is, as far as I understand it, rather than having a charge on fuel you buy from the fuel station, you actually charge someone specifically where they're driving. Now, I don't know quite how this is going to work, and people will have to be tracked in order to make this work. So I don't know if I'm really in favour of it. The fuel duty's been going on for a long time. I think it's 59 pence plus VAT that's added on every litre of fuel that's actually bought in this country. So a lot of what you pay at the pump is actually tax. And now this isn't a new thing, this has been going on for a long time, but it's certainly something that is now being called into question because of electric cars and the fact that they don't pay the 59p per litre plus VAT fuel duty that everyone else does. So is this going to be something that is a good thing to have? I don't know how it's going to work, but as I've said, I don't know about the implications of tracking where everybody goes all the time in order to actually charge them. Ooh, a Skoda Felicia estate with parking sensors. Oh, viewers, why do I get so excited about strange things like that? Anyway, yes, so road pricing. Answers as to whether or not you think this is a good idea in the comments section below. So we'll also talk about, since we're in Dudley and this is an area where there is lots of you know, love for old Rovers and things like that. The 1996 Rover 216 SLI automatic that I used to own. Now I say 96, the car was probably built in 1995 because the 5-door versions of the R8 shaped 216 had been discontinued by the end of 1995. So although it was registered 31st of October 96, it was probably a 1995 car. I bought that car from a used car dealership near Uxbridge in 2015. I think I paid somewhere in the region of £650 for it. Quite a low mileage car. It had done something like 44,000 miles when I got it. And you know, the various things were wrong with it. You know, R8s weren't as popular back then as they are now. There's a bit more love for those sort of things that there was in the mid-2010s. It sounds really strange that we'd be talking about it, you know, a historical thing, but that was about 7 years ago, so things have changed a bit since then. and one of the windows didn't work. The driver's window didn't sit properly. One of the vents didn't work. There was a bit of rust, but not that much. The car was quite rust-free actually. Only very, very small bits of rust. Certainly nothing to worry about. Cam cover gasket leaked as well. Honda D series engine, which they're very, very reliable, but you do have to maintain them. You do actually have to sort of pay attention a bit to the maintenance of them, in terms of changing the cam belts at the right intervals and changing the oil. So had the oil change on it done. That wasn't too much bother really. And if you get those things done, they're quite reliable engines actually. The main problem though with that wasn't so much the engine and the drivetrain. I mean, I remember doing something like 12 to 13,000 miles in a year in that car, which was pretty good. I mean, particularly good in somewhere like in London. I mean, I was living at the time just near Epsom, and I used to go to London an awful lot. It was in that car that actually I first started courting my lady wife, and she really liked it. I think one of the reasons why she actually quite likes Rovers and quite likes taking the 45 V6 to work sometimes is because she just kind of likes the comfortable drive of a Rover with the Viking badge. She quite likes that. I know you're going to think we're very, very strange, and of course we are, but that's just the way that it is. We are strange, sentimental people like that. So yes, I had this car. I thought there was perhaps something wrong with it in a way, and it turns out that I was right. What I noticed was the shade of paint on the roof was a bit different from the rest of the metallic night fire red on the car. And I just thought, oh, it's faded, it's an old car, it doesn't matter or anything. But yeah, that's not really what I should have thought. It was much worse than all that. So what had actually happened is the car was a category D write-off, and I hadn't noticed this when I bought it. I can't remember if I saw it on eBay or somewhere else. It certainly wasn't Auto Trader, because they have a way that you can filter out write-offs, nowadays known as category S and category N, those days cat C, cat D. Now that system's not flawless. There are some cars that it won't pick up, but it's better than nothing. I think I would say about it. So the issue with it was actually that when I came to trade it in, because it was having a few issues and we needed something a bit more sort of reliable with a manual gearbox for my lady wife to learn to drive in, because she hadn't passed her test by the time that we got together. She only passed a test about 2 months after we got married actually, but so she needed a different car to learn on than something like that. It was just having a few problems. The MOT advisory list was as long as my arm when I had it last done, which would have been around October 2016. So I went to trade it in against an MG3, the MG3 that we used to have, 2014 example, and I found out it was a category D. I didn't actually realise that at the time. I thought there was something funny, because some of the roof would actually shake in the car, and I think what happened is something actually fell onto the car at some stage. None of the rest of the car was damaged, just the roof, and someone had sort of, I think, kind of just gone underneath and kicked it out or something, and sort of put it back the way it should be. Of course the headlining was sagging, because it does on old Rovers, that's just the way it is. But I should have been a bit more wary of it and not bought that. I did see another example of it, a green one, the same day, but had no service history with it or anything, so I decided not to buy that one. Maybe I should have bought the green one, I don't know, viewers. It's hard to say, it's hindsight, isn't it? But yes, when you buy a second-hand car, do a data check. They don't cost very much money, and I've talked before about cars not having a V5, and really being very, very careful about that. If you want to buy one, I've already talked about that sort of before, and my advice is still there. Do the data check. Make sure the car's got a V5. Make sure if you're buying privately that the address you're seeing the car at actually matches the address on the V5. And if it doesn't, you need to ask questions about that. So there we are, a bit of consumer advice for you all. Thank you ever so much indeed for watching this very vague vlog. I think we actually got to some proper kind of things that are pertinent to the job that I do, which is unusual. If you want to become a channel member, don't feel that you have to. That's actually not the most important thing that I ask for. The most important thing I ask for is you just watch the videos and enjoy them and like them and comment and subscribe. And if you would watch them all the way through, I'd very much appreciate it. But you do get to see these very vague vlogs on the day they're actually made if you become a channel member, second tier and up. So maybe if you want to do that, then there's a join button at the bottom of the video. Don't feel you have to, of course. And thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching.